Real-time yields analysis, part 7, example of real-time yield system in use. Real-time yield system demonstration. Our fab contents are going to be 600 carcasses for the day, covering organic, natural, prime, choice plus, choice, and select. This is the initial screen that you'll see when you log into the system. This part of the screen to the right is carcasses and boxes, has the detail of what crosses the scales. And on the left are the yields, the actual comparisons of the carcass attributes and the subprimals in the boxes as they cross the box scale. This screen here are the actual carcasses going in. The carcasses are shown in sequence. There's a carcass sequence number applied for that day to a specific carcass ID, the quality grade for that carcass, the sex or type of carcass, the weight, and the yield grade, along with the type and fab. This sequential data here is used to determine the expected weights that will be for the subprimals that cross the box scale. Going here to the yields by minute, we're looking at, in this case, we'll start off with looking at all the item codes and broken down amongst the different carcass areas. The report is generated every minute, so right now this is like at 11 o'clock, 11:01, 11:02, so those values are generated every minute. That allows people managing staff on the fab line to see the impact of any corrections or any issues. Every minute we're reevaluating that. The first column here under 11 is the actual pounds. That's the pounds that actually cross the box scale. These are the expected pounds right here, the pounds that we would expect to cross the box scale based on the carcasses that will be coming out at that point. And this is the actual variance in pounds, just taking the expected or the actual and subtracting the expected to see what that variance is. The actual pounds total right here, this is the cumulative to date, cumulative for the day. At this point, we're through. We're at 11 o'clock. We started fab at 7. We're about halfway through fab, which means we'd have about 300 carcasses. We've got 109,000 pounds actually came across the box scale for fab. 111,000 pounds is what we would have expected, which means we have a 2,268 pound variance. If we drill down here, we can actually drill down and see the details under each of the subprimals. All the way down, we're looking at, like, say, 109. These are rib 109Es, and this row right here, 112As. We can click on expand further into there, and we'll actually see the individual item codes. In this case, this is a natural 112E. We can click on this, and the graph on the bottom left will show the item code and the specifics associated with the item code as far as when it was fab. We didn't start to fab 112As until about almost 10 o'clock, it looks like. And the graph to the bottom right is the accumulation of what we actually fabbed. If we look at click on the 109E row, we're seeing that we were fabbing 109Es from about 7 o'clock till about 10 o'clock. And the graph on the right shows the cumulative variance that's taken place for those. If we click on dollars, then the graphs and the tables all reflect these values in dollars. What's nice about this is that it shows us the dollar importance of the different variances we're seeing. We're going to jump over to the main menu, and then we're going to go to the cumulative by minute. And this report's designed to basically for upper management, so they can take a look and see how we're doing in general. It is updated every minute, but we're just showing cumulative numbers. So in this case here, we're running a negative cumulative number consistently, as you can see in the graph at the bottom. We can click on any one of the rows. Like I said, now we're looking at ribs, looking at flank, whatever we want to look at. We can look at those specific pieces and say, okay, how are we doing with that? So we can do that at a higher level, but this isn't intended to show minute by minute variance, although if we start to see corrections, we'll see this cumulative graph, which has a large negative balance, start to move back up, or at least level off so it's not getting any worse. We're going to jump to one other report, which is the total by day. What the total by day is it lets us take a look at our variances over a period of time. In this case here, we're looking at, I think we go back from February 1st, and I think we're on February 14th at this point. So we can actually see the variances across the last 2 weeks. And the graph at the bottom is actually showing us our improvement or our progress, where we stand in terms of pounds. This is the total for each day. So back on February 1st, we were like 12,000 pounds in the hole. When we get to 14th of February, we're about 6,000 pounds. So we've made some progress. We've cut our variance in terms of pounds in half. Now, if we go ahead and change this over to dollars, we're going to see a different picture because the variances as they occurred by weight weren't necessarily evenly spread across the different value items. So when we look at, say, in the case of February 1st, we actually had a positive variance in total. And we can see that right here in this column here. We had a positive variance of about 2,000. We had negative variances in the chuck, in the flank, and in the round, but we have large positive variances in the loin and in the rib, which probably are much higher than what we expected. So if we look at, let's look at this as the rib, we had a positive variance, which is way too high. So we've got that under control now, and the same thing with the loin. But what we haven't done is, although we've got those variances under control, we still have negative variances, say, on the chuck and on the round. So we still, in total, when we look at this in total over history, we're still seeing that we've got significant negative variances over time because of that. So it just gives us an ability to go in and look at the details historically to see if we're progressing, both in terms of weight and in terms of dollars. Okay. Our real-time yield analysis system, the next video, part 8, will be using real-time yield systems to validate yield weights. And for more information on real-time yields, contact NAV Analytics at 800-280-7107. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video.